I'm sure at some point in everyone here's life, you've seen somebody walking around out in town wearing some sort of military uniform. And I'm almost certain most of you, if not all of you, have probably walked up to that individual and thanked them for their service. So I'm going to take a couple seconds to go over something that drives me crazy, and it's this thing called stolen valor. Article titled "What is Stolen Valor?" written by Thomas Rule defines stolen valor as people falsely claiming military awards and badges they did not earn, services they did not perform, and experiences that only exist in their mind. I did 4 years in the Marine Corps. I got out of corporal, did 2 tours of duty. So I'm sure most of you can see why something like this would just blow my mind and make me see red. One video in particular was a video on YouTube of this staff sergeant in the Army who was walking around on Black Friday getting all kinds of good deals and stuff because he was wearing his uniform. A veteran in the Army stopped him because he noticed some things that were off about the guy. First one was he had 3 combat action badges, and in the military you can only get 1 combat action badge per combat zone you've been in, and in the last 10-12 years we've only been in 2, and those are Iraq and Afghanistan. So this Army staff sergeant changes his story over and over again about how he got those badges, and basically this veteran just kept nicking him for different things that were wrong about him, and in the end the guy wasn't in the Army. Another instance I experienced myself. My wife and I were at a bar down in Sanford called the Barn, and there's this guy walking around flashing a military ID, and I saw it and I was like, wait a minute, that's the same ID that my wife has, and it's a dependent ID. Looks nothing like an active duty member's ID. So that was the first thing that was like, well, wait a minute, no, this guy's not in the military. Another thing that stuck out was he had a goatee and he didn't have a haircut. His hair was long. So I was like, nah, there's no way this guy's in the military. So at this point, I just wanted to do some really bad things. So my wife and I ended up having to leave. Got away from the situation before something bad happened. I'm going to take a couple seconds to go over some ways that you can detect stolen valor. The first one is plain and simple, go online and do a little bit of research about military regs. They're not hard to find, and across the board it's pretty similar for every branch, how they're supposed to look in a uniform. Another one is if you see somebody walking around sporting a high up medal, like the Medal of Honor for instance, if you go on Google and type in their name will pop up if they have it, and it'll say this guy's a Medal of Honor recipient. So if they don't, then they're faking it, plain and simple. So plain and simple, this stolen valor drives me nuts. Went over the definition of what stolen valor is. I gave some examples of when people stole valor, and I gave some tips on how you can prevent some of this nonsense.